Cat's out of the bag. Authenticity is the new hype word. And every Tom, Dick, and Jane is telling you just be authentic in your business. And that's how you get to where you want to go. And guys, authenticity, I've talked to so many coaches recently who say, well, I'm showing up authentically, but it's not working. And then some of those coaches enroll with me and they realize what true authenticity is and what they were missing. Okay, so stick with me today. I don't want to spoil anything on this cool little presentation I've created here, but we are going to go into why authenticity isn't working in your coaching business and how to actually uncover the magnetic, resonant level of authenticity that so many are seeking. The type that pulls dream clients to you, the type that gets inbound messages from people that you had no idea were even considering working with you. By the way, if you're getting a bunch of those, I'd be willing to bet that you could have more conversations in your DMs. We'll get into how to make DMs easier even too in this one. We're gonna peel back the layer on a few. And to be ultra clear here, this is why my clients do things like go from not being able to put gas in their car to collecting over $50,000 in a month. He's on his path to his $100,000 a month, going from driving Lyft to having multiple $16,000 months in a row, collecting $20K in their first 2 months with me, having only making $2,000 in the last year, and then having 3 clients enroll in the first couple weeks. This is the actual lever we're pulling. It's not some secret content system. So, like I said, stick with me. We're going to get a little bit of weird. And weird is from the Old English noun word, which meant fate, destiny, or personal destiny. The etymology of weird also comes from of having the ability to control destiny. So what does that mean? Why are we looking at that? How are we going to get weird? Well, first off, let's lay some context. Your life is a collection of stories, most accidentally picked up along the way, and this is how we look at them. This weird, shadowy abyss where they're all floating around outside of our control. And those stories, my friends, are actually running the show in your business more than you want to believe. If I just lost you and you're going to leave this YouTube video, that's fine. You probably aren't going to excel inside coaches breaking through, and there's a good chance you're just looking for a magic pill in your business and somebody else to do the work, as opposed to embodying the identity of somebody who actually does it. Truth is what it is. Sorry. I create as I speak. Abracadabra. If you're new here, I have abracadabra it tattooed massive on my back in that triangle because our words shape our reality. The stories that we tell ourselves are made of those words. So I meet a lot of coaches who understand mindset, who are using shit words, and when I actually start talking to them, are running on shit stories, and they're using those shit stories as absolute garbage motivation. And then we wonder why we want to burn our business down when the fuel that's burning is it's a landfill that's on fire of all the trash in our head. We're trying to burn down the bad stuff by creating more good stuff, but we just keep trying to create more good to outweigh that fire that's burning. We think if we just pour more water on, what we really need to do is go and get to the root cause of why that's burning. So he said it. He said root cause. So if we have really junk stories in our head, right? What's that going to do? What's that going to manifest as? Well, all of a sudden we go, oh man, I hate social media, what it does to people. But you're building an online business. So how do you think that's going to play? Oh, I don't like sales. Really? You don't like sales? You don't like clients? You don't like money? Cool. I need more money. Huh. Some of these things are incongruous. I wonder what's going on here. And then we start going, well, why is this so hard? Not paying attention to all those other things that we have told ourselves, right? And those statements, those stories all get burned into your reticular activating system, right? For anybody new to mindset, the reticular activating system is a super powerful search and edit tool for your reality. And your brain uses it to create your reality, to see what you tell it to see. What you look at is what you see, okay? And if you're not seeing what you want, there's a good chance that you're lying to yourself about what you're looking at. I already typed the slide. We're not fixing the typo. Let me say that again. If you're not seeing what you want, being results, right? If you're not seeing the results that you want, you're probably lying to yourself about what you're looking at to get those results. You're probably lying to yourself about how much you're tracking the KPIs in your business. You're probably lying to yourself about the view that you have around your business. You're probably lying to yourself about the actions that you took. If you're not seeing what you want as far as, man, I hate this industry. Man, it's such a grind to get clients. You're probably lying to yourself about what you're looking at. Okay? Let's dig in here. This is also why just be authentic is such a completely fucking subpar approach, right? Because authenticity isn't known. Authenticity can only be known to the level that one knows oneself. And most people are operating on accidentally inherited stories. Like they may have come from well-meaning teachers, right? Well-meaning parents, but these people didn't know where they got their stories. They weren't the author or the creator of their reality. So what did they do? They took the stuff that was passed on to them and they gave it to you. And now you are here getting introduced to the tools to actually become true generational change on a soul level, on a financial level when you embody this into your coaching business, on a mental, emotional, spiritual level. I don't care what your spiritual practice is, this stuff will help to connect you to your God. So, the broke-in coach, say they're doing DMs. They think it's a fear of rejection. Or say that they are, I'm going to come over here. They don't want to make great content because they have a fear of being seen. Or say that you guys can see that middle already, that's fine. Say that they don't implement systems because they have a lack of focus. Or they tell themselves that sales skills mean that they would be being salesy. So then they never actually learn how to enroll people and truly be of service. What does all of that come back to though, guys? Dig, dig, ding, you guessed it. Those weird, shadowy, swirling stories in our head. Because we don't start conversations because we have a fear of rejection. And while some people might try and brute force that and say, just start conversations, and then you'll get over your fear of rejection, your DMs will start making you money. Good luck. I mean, you can do it that way for a little bit, but sooner or later, that story that's in there from that time you got turned down from the girl you asked out in front of your buddies, from the college that you didn't get into, the job you got turned down to, that time you got fired, that's going to come up. I promise you. And you may not notice it at first. I'll give you the mechanism here in a minute, though, as to how that comes up and how that keeps you from having $10, $20, $30, $50,000 months in your business. Because $50,000 months are easy when you get out of your own way. I promise you. So, systems. Well, it's just my ADHD as an entrepreneur. Guys, I've made those jokes too, right? It's just my ADHD. Is it? Or is it the story we tell ourselves about focus? Because I promise you, I can disappear into the void of focus for 3 hours if there's something I enjoy doing. But if we have stories about why we don't deserve something, why that's not actually who we are, why that money that would come with that is actually scary, well, we're going to start expressing a lack of focus every time we go to implement systems, every time we go to track KPIs, key performance indicators in our business, to track our numbers, to actually get the data, right? And these stories will keep us emotionally attached to what that data says. Content. Well, it's just my fear of being seen. And Bro Marketer Coach says, well, go make more content. Yeah, that's cool until we get a hater on our content, until something flops, or until it just doesn't land because it's a dissonant level of content. There's a dissonance there. There's not the resonance. And you wonder, well, I did what my coach says. I'm just out here being myself. But there's still something there, right? Well, probably that talent show where you completely bombed. Or that job interview where you sweat through your blouse, right? Something that is creating the same emotional signature and comes up in your content. Sales skills, right? Which oftentimes sales skills come down to having a good offer. and believing in your stuff. But a lot of coaches resist having that offer and believing in their sales because, oh, well, I'm being salesy. It's not right to take people's money for this. I just want to help them, this and that. And that, my friends, 100% of the time comes back to the story we're telling ourselves about sales. Whether we got sold something by somebody in the past that didn't serve us, and call it what it is. There's dishonest sales out there, and there's also us projecting our own responsibility for using things that we buy or for making responsible decisions on other people. And when you say, well, I don't want to be salesy, you are projecting your client's responsibility onto yourself. You're pretending like you get to take responsibility for their decisions as an adult. That's just the victim mentality in disguise, my friends. So that's what happens. Sales skills get destroyed by those shadowy stories. And brute force, guys, as much as it would be nice, just doesn't work. You can't think your way out of this. You can't say, oh, well, I understand them. I understand this stuff. So I'm good. I get it. I know why that is happening. The amount of clients I've had say that, right? They're like, oh, I know why this is happening. I get it. I don't need to finish this process. I got it, Chase. But here's the thing. You can know it without it making sense. Because what is a sense? A sense is a felt experience, right? And the body keeps the score on those felt experiences, right? And stories have layers. So, one that I've used as an example on numerous podcasts, all the way back when I had my gym, and I've seen this time and time again. I have over 1,000 hours coaching these stories. I've used it in fitness. I've used it in career development. I've used it with people going through divorces. I use it now with my clients who are building businesses. And one from my gym is we were working her nutrition story, working about snacking the night prior. Well, we went into the felt experience of that story. And guys, this isn't some sort of heavy lift. It's a relatively time-efficient system and it allows you to get into one thing and get out, as opposed to like discussing it week after week after week with your coach or your therapist, the same thing, spinning in circles. No, once we address one thing, we either find the next layer or we're done. So we went in, we looked at her snacking on a bag of chocolate. Well, turns out a couple layers deeper was trying to make the cheerleading team and her mom pressuring her to have a certain body type. So out here, we had chocolate. In here, we had cheerleading team. But they were both connected via the same emotional resonance. Both times that emotion came up, and it was creating decisions that would tell her that she didn't deserve that body type. So she's going to self-sabotage. Same thing happens in business, right? And it might not look like something that is related to your business, but if it's a piece of guilt, if it's a piece of not deserving something, if it's a piece of resentment, if it's a money story, it is going to show up. I promise you. And when we talk about the felt experience of it, any feeling felt fully is bliss. That's a Joseph Campbell quote. And stories must be processed both in the brain and especially in the body. And if we're getting a little woo, in the energetic field. We're working on something with these. And guys, I have taken more psychedelics than your average psychonaut. I worked 14 weeks one-to-one with an intuitive mentor and did psychic readings on people. This is the system that has the most weird serendipitous synchronicities happen. This is the system that gets people to actually activate their spiritual gifts. And maybe I just lost some of y'all. That's fine. You're probably, if that loses you, you're probably better off in a bro marketer course that just gives you a template and leaves you burnt out. And I'll see you in a year when you actually want to step into the identity of somebody running your business. Appreciate you. Go on your path. I'll be here when you're ready. So what do? We peel back the layers and we rewrite from the core, right? We actually go in and we look at the stories under the stories, because this is why when somebody has a giant, a life event that they're not able to bottle, to stuff down, like a piece of grief, a loss of a loved one, why all of a sudden they will be a complete mess for like years. And yeah, losing a loved one is brutal, but also if they haven't processed other pieces of loss and grief and anguish along the way, all of that unprocessed stuff in the body, in the energetic field, is now coming up because they've been stuffing it down, but that last one was like the volcano going off. And I mean, you can wait till the volcano goes off, or you can look at, oh man, there's resistance in my business. I know most of the tools. I mean, it'd be nice to learn some very simple tools, which we do that too. But that stuff's easy enough, guys. This is the thing that actually helps you implement the how-to. So here's the layers, and it often looks different than just one going straight down to a bunch. Oftentimes, like loss and grief will come to some, betrayal. Maybe it's not these three specific, right? But we look at these stories. And then we come down and it's like, oh man, well, we have some failed attempts. We have some stories of betrayal. We have some stories of loss and grief. You know, we look at the felt experience here and like, maybe it's anger. Maybe it's grief. Maybe it's something else. But those emotions help us pull on these. And next thing you know, your DMs go back to you getting dumped. Your not wanting to create an offer that your market will actually want goes back to your parents' divorce. Your DMs goes back to your parents' divorce. Your getting cut from the team goes back to not implementing systems because you're not good enough to have that thing. Violent and angry parent has you not doing sales. Right? And like I said, this isn't some like sit and circle talk therapy kind of thing we're talking about here. This is go take one look at it, air it out, and then take some action to prove that the inverse story can be true, that the meaning that we applied to this story along the way isn't the meaning we have to carry with us for the rest of our lives, because we get to choose. So all of a sudden, you notice how the image is different now? Now we're floating through the master of the cosmos, writing our own story. Thinking things like, I love spreading my message. I enjoy serving my clients. Money is safe. That's a big one. If money upregulates your nervous system, either a lot of it or a little of it, we got something to do there. My energy flows smoothly. Ooh, wait. We get all of that into our reticular activating system? What do you think happens to our business then? Let's take a look. Right? All of a sudden, oh wait, our arrows are flowing out from the stories now? Because yeah, they're the root cause of everything, right? So stories tell us that we are able to cultivate true connection, that the DMs don't just need to be transactional, that we're good at this. Oh, whoa. Now we're booking calls. The stories that we've released and then rewritten tell us that we can be confident showing up as our whole self. Then you don't need anybody's content system after that. You just show up. The stories tell us that we can build an offer that allows us to have the success that we say we want. Well, we offer a bridge, and then all of a sudden we're really, really good at sales. The stories tell us that we deserve to look at our business objectively. The stories tell us that releasing the stories allows us to release emotion around our KPIs and our systems. All of a sudden we show up focused and inspired. And all of a sudden we have awesome systems for our business. Weird. And that, my friends, is a super quick rundown of why authenticity as just be authentic is honestly a garbage piece of advice. And why honestly, this is the work. This is what we do. And when you come inside Coaches Breaking Through, I give you this system. I give you the tools to continually stay up to date, Because one thing that I could have said earlier that some people dropped off this video earlier because they're like, oh, I get this, I've done this, but they haven't actually looked at anything in weeks, months, or years. They read a Joe Dispenza book, they might meditate a couple times a week, but they don't actually do the maintenance. And that is like eating healthy for a week, going to the gym a couple times, be like, all right, I understand fitness, I'm going to go back to my old lifestyle. Like, you understand it, but you haven't embodied it. There's a difference. And inside Coaches Breaking Through, we give you the tools to truly embody this, to be in control of your own story so that you can run your business and take emotion out of the numbers. And you can actually show up and run your business how it's supposed to be run so that you can have the impact that you know you're meant to have, so that the people who need your specific magic can have it. And then you can create an exponential ripple in the world. Because I'll tell you what, you know what authenticity is? I'm going to make myself smaller here, and I'm going to go find a blank spot on this canvas. Authenticity is you being the biggest grandfather clock. Okay? Now, what do I mean by that? Grandfather clocks is discovered by a physicist in the 1600s that when they're in a room next to each other, I'm going to make a couple of little guys here, they will, there's the window in them. I know, I'm an artiste. They will swing in opposite unison in equal rhythm across the room, regardless of where they're set. They will hit. He had 2 grandfather clocks, and they were doing this number. Oh, boom, 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 regardless of where he started them. He got laughed out of rooms in the 1600s. Now, in recent decades, it's been proven that those grandfather clocks were communicating through tiny vibrations in their wooden housing. So, what does that mean for you and your business? Well, you're going to attract people with your vibration. It's like, it's proven. It's not this hippy dippy thing anymore. You are the biggest grandfather clock of your business. If you're getting shit clients who are telling themselves junk stories, it's time to take a look in the mirror, because your content is expressing things that bring those clients in. Your DM conversations are expressing things that bring those clients in. Your sales calls are expressing things that bring those clients in. So how do you change that? Well, grandfather clocks all fall into sync with the biggest grandfather clock in the room. So my version of biggest grandfather clock in the room is the person who actually knows their story, who is able to stay down-regulated when things happen, who can be the master of their reality in more ways than one. That's when stuff becomes magnetic. That's when people start dropping into your inbox and saying, oh man, I need what you have. Your content's really been landing lately. That's magnetism. Okay. Appreciate you guys being here. If this landed and you're like, wow, a business coach who actually gets the tactical side of it, has taught sales and marketing since 2015, and can help me get out of my own way in a simple and effective way. And this, you want to know more about what's inside Coaches Breaking Through? Come over to Instagram, send me a DM. I'm not giving you a one-word DM. You're not getting off that easy. Send me a DM, open the conversation. This is your first step of practice here, by the way. Open the conversation. Tell me you watched this video and it landed and you want to learn more. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Love all of you, each and every one of you, so very much. Truly, you being here allows me to keep doing what I love doing.